at SoftLayer Technologies in Dallas, Texas, and I'm speaking with Nathan Day. Nice to meet you, Nathan.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks. Now tell me, what is your role here at SoftLayer Technologies?
I have a great job at SoftLayer. I get to look at new technologies and find new products and services to give to our customers. It's a blast.
Good. Well, it's always nice to like your job, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful.
So if you could describe to me, succinctly, what exactly does SoftLayer Technologies do?
At SoftLayer, we provide virtual data center services to our customers. So basically anything you'd need to provide a hosting environment so you can put your content or your application on the internet.
So why did SoftLayer build 3 data centers across the states instead of just in one single location?
We wanted to give our customers the option to put their content and services closest to their users and minimize latency between the users viewing the content or using the application and the actual servers. Plus, with 3 data centers, we can provide disaster recovery solutions to our customers.
And this has something to do with the private network?
SoftLayer has a private network. It's essentially a way to interconnect servers and provide secure access to the servers. And we took this private network and we've made it a nationwide network so that if someone has a server in Dallas, for example, and a server in Seattle or Washington, D.C., they have interconnectivity between the servers in a fully routed network.
So you mentioned earlier that you have a disaster recovery program with SoftLayer's technology, as well as a high availability environment, as well as being cost effective. Can you expand on that?
Sure. We have a variety of services that let our customers have high availability solutions. We have global load balancing available. We have load balancing that's local to a data center. We've got storage that can be accessed remotely, so a person can use say local iSCSI storage and have that storage replicated to a different part of the country. We've got backup solutions, so you can back up your server locally in the same data center your server's in, or perhaps you want to back up to a completely different part of the country over the private network.
So SoftLayer Technologies basically offers a pretty secure solution.
Exactly. This private network can only be accessed from a server or through a secure VPN connection. So really it's a great way to put your administrative features on the private network, and you just don't have to expose your administrative solution out there to the whole world.
Now tell me, where are these other data centers? I know we're clearly in Dallas, but the others?
We have a data center in Seattle, Washington, as well as Washington, D.C., and of course Dallas.
Any particular reason why you chose Seattle and Washington?
Those 2 data centers, in addition to the Dallas data center, gives us nice coverage of North America, but also being on the coast gets us closer to our customers and our customers' customers in Europe and Asia.
And if something did happen in terms of disaster recovery for SoftLayer Technologies, what kind of downtime would people be looking at?
With the right combination of products and services from SoftLayer, hopefully little or none.
Well, thanks so much for having us here today, Nathan. It was great to have met you.
Pleasure to meet you too. Thanks for coming.
We're here in Dallas, Texas, speaking with Lance Crosby, CEO of SoftLayer Technologies. Thanks for joining us today, Lance. Nice to have met you.
Nice to be here.
So I want to start off, first of all, by talking to you about the network within a network. SoftLayer Technologies is the first company to come up with this idea. Can you expand on that? Explain to me what it is and why you chose to go this way.
Sure. Essentially, every server we have throughout all the data centers have 3 network cards in each one of them. One of them is connected to a public network, another one to a private network, and then a third to a management network. And what that allows us to do is customers can buy servers today, tomorrow, next week, next year, and we can present those servers if they're in the same physical rack to them.
So it's a rack architecture, you'd say?
That is correct. So if you can imagine the data center kind of being the backplane, and every time you slide a server in, every server can talk to every other server potentially.
So how will your customers benefit from SoftLayer's server rack architecture?
Utilizing either our control panel or API, we push all of the functionality of the data center to the end user, and so they'll be able to control all of that remotely.
Well, you know what? I think now's a good time to go have a look.
Sure, sounds great. Let's go.
Let's go. So explain to me, Lance, where are we?
We are standing in server room 6 in Dallas, Texas. This is our newest server room. It will come online later this year in Q3.
it's completely empty. What is it going to get filled with?
Servers eventually. In our data center pod design, we put about 5,000 servers in 5,000 square feet. So this room is designed for 2 separate distinct pods. So when this room is completely full, it will house 10,000 servers.
So when you say pod, what do you mean by this? What is the pod concept?
The pod concept, at 5,000 servers, we maximize the power, the space, the personnel, the networking equipment. That's where all the efficiencies of the data center cross, and that's when you're really maximizing everything inside the physical infrastructure.
How big is this?
This room right here is about 10,000 square feet. Well, it houses about 500 tons of HVAC. It, of course, has redundant power, redundant air, 24-inch raised floor. We will use a typical hot and cold aisle configuration, and a tier 3 data center.
So Lance, we're in the second data center here. It's roughly half full.
That is correct. We're standing in server room 5 in Dallas, Texas.
And how many servers are here roughly?
Roughly, we have about 5,000 live servers in the room, and this space has capacity for about 10,000 total servers.
So can you explain to me in a bit more detail the rack architecture in this particular center?
Sure, we have a very dense rack architecture. We put 44 servers in a rack. Power is about 8 kW per rack, and so we actually get about 1 server per square foot within the data center. So 5,000 servers in 5,000 square feet, or in this case 10,000 servers about 10,000 square feet.
So Lance, we're in the third data center. It's completely full. Can you tell me exactly how many servers you have in here?
Sure, we're standing in server room 4 in Dallas, Texas. We have about 5,000 servers in this room right now.
It's amazing. It sounds like it's really working hard. How efficient is this particular data center?
We have to go out of our way to be as efficient as possible on power. We're running about 250 watts per square foot here and 44 servers in a rack, so we have to maximize all the efficiencies. We utilize high efficiency power supplies, low voltage processors, low voltage RAM, so we're trying to mitigate the electricity usage as much as we possibly can.
So you've made some real progress in trying to create more of a green data center.
Absolutely. I mean, we continuously monitor everything we do, and we project that we use about 30 to 40% less electricity as typical data centers in the hosting industry.
And the one that we were previously in, the empty data center, are you kind of doing the same thing for that as you do for this in terms of making it efficient?
Yes, all of our data centers have the same premise, the 5,000 server pods. It doesn't matter if it's here in Dallas, in Seattle, Washington, or Washington, D.C. We have the same footprint across all the data centers.
So that concludes our tour of SoftLayer Dallas. Thanks so much for having us here, Lance.
Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.